Let me know whenever we are ready.
Yeah, I think we have just started. We'll wait for another 1 minute, and
Mhm.
then I'll begin. They're already there. So because of course people join the call, but they also join the live, and later if they want, they can also see the recording. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from your respective time zones. Welcome back to the 28th TEG talk. Uh, well, I think it's third year and we are into the TEG journey. And some of you have been with us from the very beginning. And I will briefly kind of reiterate the idea. I do that before every talk. So the idea has been to have this platform where budding entrepreneurs can get some kind of mentorship, some kind of support, or anyone who is in this particular space, business world, entrepreneurship world, or even per se alumni or somebody else who's looking forward to some kind of support in this larger space could look forward to some kind of support. But of course, focusing on budding entrepreneurs and especially IITB alumni, but we have kept it open to everyone. And that was the whole idea. And now the TEG community has grown up to 4,500 plus. And of course, we have an active network on WhatsApp, but also we have a network on Telegram. People seek synergies. And I have been seeing it for the last 2 years, but then this year, now we are also planning a TEG event, which is, of course, IITBA entrepreneurship event, which we are planning on November 14th, estimated time as of now. And I'm repeating this so that mentally you can keep that in your mind. Although official, of course, official emails and everything you'll receive down the line, but mentally, you can be prepared at least if you are in the US, Europe, you can plan Diwali plus something more, which will be happening on the front of entrepreneurship. Yeah, so 28th talk, and it has been a fantastic journey. And without taking a lot more time, I will ask my co-host Rishi to officially introduce our speaker.
Well, thank you, Vaibhav. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Rishikesh Satwane, and it's a privilege to host tonight's session of the Entrepreneurship Gyan. In my 25 years in Silicon Valley, I have seen countless companies scale, but very few leaders have the vision to not just build a company, but to architect the entire global industry from ground up. Today, we are joined by a man who is essentially a founding father of the Indian IT revolution. I'm thrilled to introduce a legendary figure in our community, our fellow IIT Bombay alumni, Ashank Desai. Ashank is the principal founder and chairman of Mastech. Now, to understand the impact, we have to look back into 1982. Back then, venture capital didn't really exist in India. I'm sorry, it did not exist in India. And the software was just a mystery for most. While Silicon Valley was just beginning to find its footing in the birth of the PC, Ashank was co founding Mastech and proving that the Indian engineering could compete on a global stage. He led the company to become one of the first Indian IT firms to go public. That's a big deal. Eventually serving hundreds of clients across 40 plus countries. But he didn't just build a firm. As a founding member and former chairman of NASSCOM, he helped design the very ecosystem that allows the Indian tech industry to thrive today. For those of us here at TEG, Ashank represents the ultimate institution builder, a distinguished alumnus of both IIT Bombay and IIM Ahmedabad. He has spent decades ensuring that the lead ladder he climbed remains strong for all of us, whether it's through Ashank Desai's Center of Policy Studies or his hands-on leadership at Sign. He is a primary reason why our campus is now a global hub for innovation. Now, Ashank's career spans over 4 decades of tectonic shifts in technology, having lived through the birth of the Indian software industry and its rise to the global dominance. He brings a perspective that few people on this planet possess. So, tonight, we have a rare opportunity to learn from that journey. I'm curious to explore his thoughts on what it takes to build an organization that outlasts generations, how to maintain that entrepreneurial fire over 40 years, and what he sees as the next big frontier for Indian techno entrepreneurs. I know we're going to talk about the AI conference. We are going to hear firsthand how the grid developed in the classrooms of IIT Bombay translates into a lifeline time of global impact. Whether you're a student at IIT Bombay, an alum from IIT Delhi, Kanpur, or any other college, or founder anywhere in the world, Ashank's story is definitive masterclass in convincing that an IIT foundation into a global legacy. Please join me in a warm TEG welcome for our visionary, a philanthropist, and a true titan of our community, Ashank Desai. Over to you.
Thanks, Rishikesh, for your more than kind introduction. And I hope I live to the words that you have spoken. But coming from another IIT, and of course, I cherish those nice, good words that you talked about me. And I am really excited to hear about this community that you are creating, EG. So I think I must give kudos to all of you. Vaibhav there, you are there, Rishikesh, and I'm sure from many others. I think this community is a powerful community of entrepreneurs and also non-entrepreneurs in the sense that they are all IITians, as I understand, and they come from all the places in the world. So I should have started actually saying good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I don't know, somebody in Australia maybe late 10:30 or 12 o'clock. So welcome to all of you. But coming back, as I said, it's a great community that you are creating, and my kudos to all of you, because that is the power which is globally today is making difference. And I say that not just because I'm an IIT, I'm IIT Bombay, not because of that. I see that in whatever statistics I can throw at you. How many people are board members in top 500 Indian companies? How many CEOs are there in American tech companies? How many people are today in UK in tech area which are Indian origin, and so on and so forth. So I think we all are making difference to the world, and hence we should communicate, talk to each other, form a network. We'll be that much more powerful. So thanks to you for making it happen.
Thanks a lot, Ashank, for taking out time. And of course, as Rishi, briefed. So first thing, beginning that comes to my mind is that, of course, you were among the early pioneers of India's software industry in the 1980s. So looking back, what were the biggest challenges, and what gave you that, that kind of conviction that India could become a global technology powerhouse?
Thanks. That's very important question. If I have to take you 45 years behind. So by the way, at that time there was nothing called software house, I'll tell you. The people word which was used was system houses, just for the sake of terminology, because there was nothing industry of any kind at that point of time. I think whole industry, I don't have a data of 1980, but if at all it was there, it may be $10 million or something like that. We have a data 88 onwards, so I'll talk about it later. So the industry was driven by hardware industry, who used to give software as a part of hardware, and they used to do this job obviously at a much lower cost, and because they're covering their cost to the hardware sale. So the software house as an entity had no business proposition available to offer anything to the customers. So that was a period of Indian IT industry, and even globally that was so. I think IBM is and all large companies used to bundle application software apart from operating system along with the hardware. So here was some young guys who wanted to do something. What do they do? So we said we are not going to be like any other software. We are going to make difference to management through software. In the sense, will impact business outcomes. Now it looks trite 45 years hence, but at that time it was a big thing to talk about because everybody was doing only data processing and getting data, payroll, and HR, and the financial accounting done. So we said we will be management and software technology. Part of it came from our engineering background, part of it came from our management background of all co-founders. So we said we will make applications which are going to make impact. Now, who are the companies who are ready to take that? Fortunately, we had large multinationals at that time who were already in India. They were struggling to build software because IBM had gone out of India for some political reason that time. Only few in hardware companies were there. They were looking for genuine companies. So we found one such company who could help us was Procter and Gamble. At that time, it was called Hindustan. Uh, uh, it was called, sorry, it was called with some different name. I just kind of missing it out. So they said, you guys look very good. Why don't you build something software to help us plan our production planning to optimize the resources? Those were the times of control, so you can't expand your capacity fast, and so on and so forth. And their products were to be sold seasonally, weeks and all that in some winter, I mean, in rainy season. So they wanted some business model to be built. So we built that business model using our operations research thing. And then we also were one of the first users of C. By the way, C came out in 1980. Ricci and Cunningham is the book. So we read it. Some of our techie co-founders were more keen and they wrote all user interfaces using that, and we built MRP. So that was the beginning. So the community of multinational companies who were keen to use business a software for make business impact were our customers. So those were the days where we were struggling to make impact happen and struggling to get business. But we were lucky with all these multinational companies.
Great. Thanks. You, Rishi.
That's awesome to learn about how you found the opportunity and started in this huge journey. So in this journey, what were some of your defining moments while building Mastech into a global technology company?
Yes. So what happened, Rishi, was Indian IT software companies were just coming up, and Indian cost of hardware was very high. So very few people were using Indian IT and software. There came an opportunity through PC, which were launched, as you know, in 82. But in India, they became popular by 85, and the prices of computerization become much lower. So we said, look, we are not about just doing software for corporations. We want to make it large number of Indian users who are going to use it. So we develop products to be used on PC. And I humbly claim that we were the first application product company 86, 87, which built software for financial accounting, first financial accounting package probably, first advertising agency and stockbrokers. In fact, I found one broker who said, I'm still using your software. I said, why? It just works. So the point I'm making is we opened that era of products, and people still complain about Indian IT industry not building product. I'll talk about it later when you ask me some right question of that area. But the point I'm making is we build those products. So that was a defining moment because that established us as somebody who was really looking for make difference to the consumers. Because as you know, product you just come, put it, and then start working for the customer. So that was one defining moment. The second defining moment was the extension of that we got an opportunity to build manufacturing ERP in 86, 87. Mind you, there is no ERP available in world that point of time. All of them were MRP products. SAP, SAP and Oracle and JD Edwards were just in pipeline and they were also going to come out with products. We were trying to build something because we fairly believed that we will do exports only through products. We didn't have anybody in US to help us to build services business. So we were kind of struggling hard to do export. So for 7, 8 years, we'll do only Indian business. To that extent, it did hurt us in terms of overall growth. But we said we'll build product and we'll sell it globally. It was turned out to be a very high optimism as we saw it later. But the point we are making is we build a full-blown ERP with a object-oriented code generator and for ERP, which is required. Even SAP does it, as you know. They have ABAP. We built those kind of architecture in 87, and we didn't have much money to do it. So we went to what so-called venture capital, which was non-existent at that time. But we got 86 lakhs venture capital, by the way. That was a big money that time. So, and you know how? There was no sweat equity concept that time. We had to pay based on sales, percentage of sales. Because if you sweat equity being not there, at our book value, we will end up giving them 90% of our, yes. So that was not possible, obviously. We, of course, worked separately in NASCOM to make sweat equity happen, but that happened in 89, 92, 93. But in 87, 88, there was nothing like that. So they gave us money. So we became one of the first venture capital assisted company again, by the way, one of the top 5, 6 companies they helped us. There was a company started by ICICI. It was called ICICI Ventures now. That time it was called, I think, TDICI. They gave us money. We took that money and product was launched and it became successful. And we went public, first public company at a market price in India post liberalization, because there was no market pricing allowed earlier for public issue. You had to do some complicated formula from Delhi. But in 91, liberalization happened, opened doors for all IT companies, and we were the first one to do full priced issue in 92. And that issue went into difficulty because Ayodhya happened that time, everything was closed. So everybody said issue will fail. But it got oversubscribed and everybody had a sigh of relief because it was first software company which was trying to do something at a market price and getting successful. I remember my IT colleagues that time came and said, Ashank, if your issue was going to fail, then software industry would have been a lot of difficulty. You have at least shown now people that software can raise money, and many came after that, of course. And that helped us to repay. I mean, the venture capitalists who gave us money sold their stake and made money 15, 20 times in just 3 years. So we were the first success story of venture capital also, I must doubly state. They still talk about it. We almost, I believe, doubled that fund. Fund was not large maybe by today's standards, but the point I'm making is that created confidence in venture capital community that software companies can be financed, can be successful, and create a wealth so that more venture capital can come in the industry. So that was the second defining moment. The third defining moment was in 2000. Everybody said Indian companies can only do services, they can do some small projects, they have to, have only cost advantage. But here was a case business we got in 2002 to reduce the congestion in the city of London. That was a project which we had not done at all, any of that kind. And we were competing with not any Indian company, some British system integrator. We and they competed, and our proof of concept was much better. So we got the job. We were working with another BPO company called Capita. So they were going to run it. Software was ours. Now we had no clue. We had not done anywhere in the world traffic congestion system. And we were trying to do something which was ahead of its time in Singapore. They used to put a sticker on the car. We said we are not putting sticker because then you can be tracked all over. We will only track based on the nameplate. And we built that whole system in just 2 years. We built a mobile gateway. Now it is very easy to do it. 23 years ago, it was not so easy. And we use Microsoft for the real-time system, Microsoft software. In fact, they were also publicizing it that time, that you can use real-time software using this, which created so much of goodwill about Indian IT industry, particularly in UK. I still remember I was in Singapore at that time, that day when it went live, and I was calling my people. My people said, "Stop, Ashank, don't call us. Everything is working. Okay." There was a person from Hindustan Liver sitting next to me in Singapore, where an investor call. He says, "Ashank, I want this to succeed not because of you. I want to succeed because of India. If this is going to get screwed, it will be known all world over that Indian IT company failed to do the software of congestion charge in UK, because everybody was observing it. In fact, there was a eerie silence that day. If you go there and see the old the, postings, you will find that everybody was looking at it whether it will be successful or not. So that was a moment of success, and then it opened many other jobs for us. So that is third. The fourth one I will again say is, though the manufacturing product, I must say, was not successful globally, we could not make it successful. We didn't have money or might. It was successful in India. We called it MAMIS. We had to stop it. We didn't have money to make it global. We couldn't compete with SAP or Oracle and so on. But our hunger for products didn't go down. So in 2002 or 3, we again said we'll build product now for insurance industry. And mind you, insurance industry is very different country-wise and even state-wise in US. Many of you who are in US would know. We had to work hard to make this product happen. Over 12 years, we put $200 million through acquisitions of other companies of insurance, software, and also R&D. And in 2015, we became top 3 player in P&C software product in America. No enterprise product was successful so far to be top 3 player in America from India. Everybody said Indian IT companies can't do product. Everybody wrote us off, saying Mastech is going to be a big failure. So we separated into 2 companies, Mastech and Majesco, because one company can't do product and services. That's another story. I will not talk about it here. You have to have a different one because they are different companies with different culture, different everything different. We separated it. We got listed in NASDAQ. This Majesco, first product company, pure play product company from India to get listed. Our friends in Infosys were, of course, first service company, as you know, in 2001 or 2. We became first product company to get listed from India. Became top 3 player. That was, I went there to hit New York Stock Exchange bell and all that. So those were the 4th moments. And then Mastech and Majesco are 2 separate companies now. So I'll stop here. I'll just give you 4 highlights of our achievements.
That's fantastic, and I think you have seen a lot of disruption and created a lot of disruption in the market. And of course, as a professor of AI innovation, next question is coming towards that. Also, interesting thing is that now also we are kind of being disrupted by AI. In fact, our Silver Jubilee celebrations of IIT Bombay Alumni Association, we are theming around this disruption. And of course, Raj Nair is there. He's in charge. This is whole idea around put it around disruption. So my next question is that, of course, over the past 40 years, what are those key leadership principles that have consistently helped you navigate technological and market disruptions? Some of those key principles that you would like to talk about.
Yeah, I would be very brief in the sense I use to be a very victorious V, you need 3 V's. First is vision. You need a clarity of vision as to what you want to be. Vision is like top floor of making a building happen. Unless you have thinking what you are going to become, you will be moving all around doing anything. So first principle is having a vision to dream something significantly different, important, impactful. Number two, vision alone is not enough. We have seen people with great vision, but the foundation of that building, as I say, top floor is vision, foundation is values. Unless you have a strong values, which is of course include ethics, integrity, but customer support, employee, seen employees as partners, running company as if it is a democratically run company, and all those real values which are important. Unless you have that, I have seen companies failing one after another when they didn't follow some of these basic values. So values is foundation, and the values and vision alone is not enough, because you may have some non-profit which is running very well with vision and values also. You need a vitality. That is third V. Vitality is about energy, systems and processes. We call KRAs. You can name anything. It is about creating energy in the system. So just vision values can, and you can be very slow and be stagnating, but the vitality drive is a driving engine. So this vitality is the third principle that you should follow. Anything that you do, you should find out that is, am I creating vitality in the system? So those are the three quick answers to your questions.
Great,
Vision,
fantastic,
values, and vitality. Three V's.
fantastic.
Well, that's awesome. So when you were talking about your milestone, a company was founded in 82, then you had your first milestone 92, and then 2002. I was almost expecting the next one in 2012.
AI,
But
that's where slowly we are coming, right? Yeah.
but anyway, so for the entrepreneurs in this audience, what are the key factors that help Mastech compete globally from India?
Yeah, so what has helped us, as I said, some of it, as I explained, our positioning as a solutions company, trying to build solutions rather than just building projects, which is important. It's not that projects are not to be required, but we were trying to focus as much as possible on solutions and solving a specific customer problem. One of them was, of course, London congestion. Then we built a data warehouse for 60 million people of UK. This was done by us over a 7-8 year project. It took, at some point, there were 500 people working on that project. It was part of the overall computerization of NHS. So those kind of solutions gives you an advantage, because then people think that you are taking responsibility for delivering solutions. So that was one advantage we certainly had, and certainly with those customers who were looking more for solutions and not only uh, size in terms of large number of uh, projects that they wanted to do in large numbers, which was required, and Indian IT industry grew around those projects. But we were focusing more on building solutions, which was part of products. Our product ethos helped us, as I said, which is generated into Majesco, as you know. So that's one part. The second part really was that we were kind of trying to do something which was not a normal practice. What we did was, wherever we went, we started our own subsidiary and made it local, with local board, with local uh, employees as far as possible. Uh, Most of the companies use branch model, nothing wrong with it. You have branches all over and then you do business through branches. But we were feeling that unless we are closer to customer and be part of the society, it will not kind of correct way or a fair way. So we invested in making such companies, and country-driven business model is what we followed. So that was second thing that we did, which required us many times to get locals much ahead of its time. Now, of course, all of us have locals. Nothing new about it. But I'm talking of 90s now, when we were trying to hire local CEOs and things like that, which created a kind of differentiator also in a marketplace. And last and not least, of course, was related to this only, but related to the uh, employee focused companies, which is translated into partnership by employee. Because, in our business, employees work with customers. So employees treat customer as you treat employees. And I'm sure IT companies do a good job, but we were specifically, I remember many people joining us and telling us, you are a different company, the way you handle people. We used to run what is called as run time, where all master gears used to go and stay together in a five-star, including my driver and others, have a fun, uh, go in train and have a taxi overnight train to go to Hyderabad or Agra or wherever. So those are the kind of processes helped us to create a bond with customer and employee bonds. So those are some 4, 5, 6 points I would say are important, and they carry the culture of the company actually. They kind of create a company. And the last part is governance. Of course, as a publicly listed company, governance is important. How you run your company. I feel we are doing IT company, of course, as a industry showed that. I'm not saying we are the only one, but some of those principles help.
Great. And of course, now we are entering, or we have already entered, AI era. And how do you see that, some kind of transition from traditional IT services to AI-driven enterprises or AI-enabled enterprises, rather?
Yeah. So as I was telling you, as you had put AI as a title of my speech, I had prepared a long presentation, which we are not doing, of course. I don't think we
Yeah.
have time for it.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So the point is, AI is making three things happen actually. If I use my PowerPoint here, which I was going to present, AI is basically is scaling the cognition. AI advances beyond automation by learning from data and generating new outputs like code and designs. Number two, impact on workflows. AI embeds intelligence into workflows, which was not there. Now it allows you to build workflow, not only automation, but making them intelligent in software development, strategic planning. And third is it brings an issue of governance and trust. Now, all that results into a lot of outcomes which are important. India, of course, is doing a lot of job through our AI mission. A lot of slides there also. We don't have time to discuss all of it here. But what is going to happen is Indian IT industry, of course, has benefited from a talent, which was our, of course, opening card and a strength. Now, they are going to become much more productive. So, with the same number of people, we can do much larger work. So, as I see it, impact of AI is to reduce the work. If you say for a given project, that is true. It can go down 30%, more than 30, 40%, depending on the kind of work we do. So that AI impact is, in a way, you will say reduce the workforce. But you should remember, AI in turn increases the productivity and improves the economy at a economic level, which generates more demand. Actually, AI is going to open up new opportunities which were not even there earlier. We are today doing healthcare projects globally, which are not even thought we could do earlier. So AI is opening up new application areas. They say there is a trillion lines of code lying in US particularly of COBOL, and some of the people who are written that code are no more. It was written in 40s and 50s, and nobody wants to touch it because it is a mission critical software. If something goes wrong there, people will, I mean, the business will come to a halt. So some of those conversions were not even being tried earlier. Today, those are the possibilities which are opening up. We ended up doing benefited today from some of these. So on one hand, you will require less manpower, but on the other hand, the increasing demand will be more than compensate in a medium term with more work. And this has happened with productivity all through. I must tell you, all you guys, I was at IIT and I used to go from IIT to TIFR to run my software. We were with punch cards. I don't know whether you guys have seen punch cards also. We used to do punch cards, 80 punch card, and it used to take me 1.5 hours to go to TIFR because didn't have a good computer in IIT. So 1.5 hours there, back 1.5 hours, next day again 1.5 hours to check my error list. So I used to write code right first time, I tell my programmers. But point I'm making is our productivity has gone up 1,000 times or more. But the demand has gone million times. So 1,000 times more programmer are needed. The point I'm making is the demand increases when costs go down and AI is reducing the cost. So AI will allow so much of more demand and so much of more new applications which we have never even seen. Do you know that we are talking of we are talking about many things like Blinkit and many other people doing quick commerce. Do you think it was possible? We had thought about it 10 years ago. We didn't. We didn't think about it because some innovative entrepreneur found it. So is the case with Ola and Uber and so on and so forth. These applications happened out of innovation, allowing IT to do something innovative. Same thing is going to happen with AI. You will have an application which you have never seen. I also can't say what they are going to be. But you and I will be in a different world to these applications, like we are in a different world 10 years ago because of commerce and many other applications. So all in all, what I'm saying is it is good that productivity has happened. Yes, this time it is little bit fast. So some people see the negative side coming first in terms of impact on jobs. It may or may not happen. But even if it happens, I see a positive part in the longer run.
Great. I mean, good. It's good to know that you are on the other side, who is also talking about that possibly a lot more jobs are going to be created, where people are going to do a lot more productive work. And in fact, at the India mission, I also gave a invited session on leveraging AI for productivity. And similar thinking is in my is also in that direction, that with this particular innovations in AI, it's about the productivity run rather than losing job run. But there are a lot of people on the other side also. But good to know that you are looking at the positive side, and especially in the long run, how it's going to
Yeah,
impact.
and thanks for saying that, Vaibhav. You take a macro view of it. Don't
Yeah.
look at it by inside the problem.
Yeah.
You go 10,000 feet above and look at the problem. You will find that any automation over last 300 years has increased jobs. You remember, I believe in 2000, 1902, there was a strike in UK, London, because people who were cleaning up the roads by horses were saying what will happen if cars come. They had stopped car. But you and I know what happened. You and I know what happened with computers. Word processors made secretaries maybe redundant. It doesn't mean that jobs stop. There's some new jobs created.
Yeah.
So the
That is
point
one of the examples that I give also, computers.
the macro view you have to take and look at it. Yes, this is inflection point. There are some new things happen, but Indian IT industry is wise and mature over the last 40 years, and now almost 300 billion plus industry. When we started NASCOM, it was $50 million. $50 million. Now it is $300 billion, which means 6,000 times growth in one generation. We made it happen as an industry. So I'm so proud of all of us in the industry. ASCOM was, of course, catalyst to make it happen. So I am happy that I was involved in some of these with my other founder members. But the point I'm making is I have lived that dream of productivity and increasing demand. That cause and effect I have seen, and I hope it remains for some more time.
Yeah, in my future lecture, probably I'm going to use this particular example that you have pointed out of Bastek just now. Thanks a lot for that. But yeah, to you, Hershey, please let's continue.
Yeah, I mean, continuing on that theme, if you look at the software industry, the services of software is 10x bigger than the product itself. And now with AI, I mean, I was CMO for an AI startup, and I realized that uh, you cannot just sell this AI product. There is a service element. It's more than the traditional software. And, I think, the service industry for AI could be a lot bigger than 10x that we saw in the past. So, I mean, I hope that happens. But to continue that point, of course, India has population to support that growth. And India has played a major role in the global IT revolution. So, and in coming up with amazing products and you know public stuff like UPI, etc. So, in this new AI world, what role can India play in shaping the global AI ecosystem?
Yeah, great question. India has a role to play, which is an opportunity of a lifetime or a generation time or opportunity of century or whatever you may call it, is available to India today. So I'll take point by point on that. Number one and foremost is we have shown the world how digital infrastructure can make impact lowest of the low person in our country. Today, a sabjiwala, as you know, wants QR code and I pay him on telephone. I don't carry any cash. 20 billion transactions happen every month. 20 billion. And each of them are average $1,000, 1,000 rupees. So you can imagine how large is this money. So India has now created what it means to an IT stack, which is impacting public at a large. With AI, we are going to move that still ahead, because what happens is with AI, you get another opportunity, in fact, to kind of make it much better. For example, AI can enhance fraud detection. AI can monitor UPI transaction in real time to detect fraud patterns. AI can create alternative credit scoring. Transaction histories empower small merchants and gig workers with alternative credit scoring without collateral. You will have it through AI. You have transactions and you can do credit scoring. You have AI voice interfaces now with UPI. Intelligent payment automation, interoperable AI agents on UPI, negotiable payments, managed subscription. So UPI itself will become so powerful that that becomes an example for India to show many other countries what we can do. And that UPI can also be applied in other areas that we are going to do. India has an AI mission, well-defined AI mission in 2024. So in that, we are going to build applications is our strength with 1.4 billion people. So these AI applications that we are going to build, anybody, maybe some Jumri Talaya entrepreneur, as I always say, can come and build some application nobody had thought about, but world can use it. So that's one example. The second example is India should make inequity of digital inequity, financial inequity, educational inequity that is lying between rural and urban. AI will open up for us, and health inequity also. Today, telemedicine is such a great example which AI can do powerfully so well. As of now, I'm talking to two, three entrepreneurs who have built such systems. They have built a system by which healthcare will get automated. Medicine is already there, but it will get automated to such an extent that large number of people who can't go out, they can't go to nearest town because it will cost them one day's wage, can sit and get an advice. Now, those are the examples which developing worlds are looking at it. So that's application is one. The second part is India also carries a mantle of making government responsive through AI systems. the kind of systems that in India can build, and some of them are already known, like Aadhaar, like many other things, ONDC that we are building. Some of these building government-driven systems are making life easier, and AI will make that move faster. The third point is AI is about governance, AI is about ethical dilemma and hallucinations. There is a large talent today which is solving some of those problems. And they can be a good example for India to set what can be done. And building that regulatory framework is something that India should take a lead. India is, everybody is looking for a global regulatory framework for managing AI. And India should take a lead with so much of professionalism we have and so much experience we have of doing work with what 1.4 billion people. So AI governance and regulatory framework India can contribute. And last but not the least again, which I should have mentioned earlier, India has unique advantage with hundreds of languages. Some of the projects like Bhashini and so on are going to make so much of impact in Africa and other countries in terms of voice interfaces rather than just text. And that voice is the next voice and sensations are the next round of AI. And today it is all text driven. AI is ChatGPT is all text driven. Voice may be there, but the point I'm making is next AI is going to be voice, vision, test, and that is where we come very well with our multi-language modules, models, and so on. So those are the areas I would suggest India should contribute.
Great. And I think you have been covering in the past questions more about ethics and governance. And of course, I was going to ask you more about it, given the fact that, your interest and association with Center of Policy Studies. But, I'll skip that because you have already covered a bit on it. And I will directly go to, your classmate, as I'm guessing that Kamlesh Pandey has asked, a fantastic question. Rather, of course, he is mentioning that, he knows that you are a top technical fellow, and he's saying that you can design, you design calculations for air conditioning system and all those things. But then his question is that didn't you ever think of getting into technology application area? So Kamlesh Pandey is asking this question from
How
you,
did
and
I get into this area?
no,
Is that what he's
no,
asking?
say you never thought of getting into technology application area. That is what he has asked. So, and maybe, he meant something else. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, Kamlesh is a great friend of many years. We
Yeah.
celebrated 50 years of our batch, as you know, 1974 batch.
Yeah.
We know each other for half century now. He is doing great work with IIT himself also. Yeah, so the point is that same thing I told you, my project required usage of computers. And somehow a person sitting next to me in hostel was trying to do something on computers. He said, Ashank, you can also use it. And we built some optimization module which we could not run on software in with computers in IIT, as I told you, and went to TIFR. All of that created an energy in me what computers can do. And then, of course, at IIM we had a lot of IT subjects and so on and so forth. And our IT professors there also told me and others, my other colleagues who were classmates at IIM, that you could build a software company. So all of that resulted into my moving away from my mechanical engineering, I must say. Although I did it for 6 years, I must tell Kamlesh, I didn't leave it so easily, like many other IIT graduates do today, on a lighter note. I worked for 6 years and then went into IT.
Great. Rishi.
Yeah. So the next question is from Anil, graduated in 82. How did you determine the number of employees you needed at each subsidiary? And how will AI affect this aspect?
Yeah, how we decide is, of course, driven by the work and demand at each of those places, obviously. And we need, of course, marketing staff, we need administrative staff, apart from just IT people. So most of it is decided based on the demand in that particular area. We had a big staff in South San Francisco area earlier because our customer were tech customers. But then we moved to insurance and other things, so we shifted to New Jersey. So, so that way it happened.
So how will AI impact this?
As I said, impacts. Sorry, I had a call which I didn't silence on. So let me just silence it. So the AI would decide it in different way in terms of productivity. Computations may tell us that you need different type of people. See, AI is not about just less people, a different type of people you need. You need data expert, data scientists, governance experts, people who look at tasks and how to automate them. You need domain experts. So you have different types of people of a different nature. So that is the way I would answer it as of now.
Great. And now the next question is from Sunil Shukla. And his question is that IT has been the growth engine for the last 2 decades in India. And then, of course, with reduced cost advantage, saturation in US, Europe opportunities, and AI disruption. So, he's asking about what you envisage as growth engine for the country growth and mass employment, maybe in the near future.
Yeah, so there are two areas, as I said, which are going to be growth drivers, if I may call it a very broad level. One is AI is going to improve productivity in the base industries itself, whether it's banking, whether it's services, which is mostly going to be impacted great way, healthcare, education. They will have a great impact because of AI, which will generate new products, new areas of growth, which will create new kind of jobs in those industries. I'm talking now of banking and new industries that are going to come out of AI. As I said, today 1 lakh jobs are created, or lakhs of jobs, sorry, are created by this delivery applications and Ubers. These jobs were not there. Today they are created. So such new jobs will happen in those industries. So that's one vector, and that is the main vector which is going to drive the growth of our employment. The second vector of growth is, of course, our own industry, IT services industry, which I said will have impact because of more applications. And Rishi rightly said, which I should also have said, that services are X times more, 5 times, 10 times more than the product. And AI is going to generate more difficulty in implementations because people are skeptical, people have issues of governance, cyber security, hallucination, data loss. See, today the large corporations are now not moving as fast as technology is moving. Technology can move fast, but the people systems have their own issues of change management, and that requires services. So jobs will be created also in the IT industry. But as I said, the economy will grow faster. That's where I'm coming from.
Thanks.
So, as we learned, the next question is from Dr. Ramakrishnan Parameswaran from the IIT Bombay 86 class. Do you think that we have reached a juncture where parents should encourage their next generation about other things besides software engineering, as AI tools such as Devin, the first fully autonomous AI software engineer, are here?
Okay, that's a interesting question. So what I would say is, see, AI will force us to think through domains and actual business applications more than what we are thinking earlier. So focus would move away from just coding to understanding applications and finding out where AI can be used. So the kind of people we need are still engineers, still technology guys, but they are wearing a new hat now. They are more problem finders, if I may use the word, although it's a negative word in a way. But they are the guys who will find problems that needs to be solved in organizations or wherever they work. So we need a mechanical engineer today more than what we needed earlier, maybe, because we can't use AI unless I know that mechanical engineer who understand robotic system, who understand the mechanical engineering and theory of machines that we learned 50 years ago, or a combustion engine specialist who uses AI for controlling something. So I'm saying we still need technology engineers, but technology engineers with a large domain experience or ability to discover problems to be solved. So I would still recommend their parents to have disciplines which are technology driven still are going to be important, is all that I'm saying.
Great. I think probably we'll be taking the final question because given the time constraints. And the question is from Arnav Mohuri, 2018 graduate and a friend. Of course, he's based out of Germany. So his question is more about, what he's interested is to know what your generation anticipated that, something will become significant in the future, but then some of those trends you missed predicting. I know maybe your generation thought that some of those things would become popular, but they didn't, as your generation might have thought. And I would like to club it with the final question, which is what I'm thinking is very relevant given your experience, is that of course you have been involved with NASCOM in building the industry, in innovation, IT, and everything, but also with academic institutions. And then my question, the final question would be, maybe you can club it together or take some time to answer both, would be that, how can policy, academia, and industry collaborate better to drive innovation? So yeah, maybe you can take some time to answer these questions, and with that, I would love to end there.
Okay. So let me answer that last question first.
Okay. All right.
Policy, academia, and government and industry. So I take you back to 2016, where we had IIT Bombay alumni meet in Goa, and our dear friend Manohar Parrikar, our IIT Bombay alum, unfortunately we lost him, was a chief minister, and he invited policy makers there, all the ministers that we all know, and all of them advised that IIT should build a public policy for two reasons. One is what you said, technology is driving policy making today. Whether it's energy policy, whether it's a water policy, whether it is, of course, AI, very much so, and also the climate control and biotechnology. All are these technologies where politicians would not have a clue to build policies unless they understand the technological implication of those policies, which is happening in AI today, right? People have no clue what to do, what kind of policies are good, what are bad. So technologists have to participate in policy making big way now. And with that was this public policy school, which is started, which I am now supporting, as you have said, Ashram Desai School of Public Policy at IIT Bombay, is my passion through NASCOM, that I felt public policy made difference in IT industry. We made zero duty in 2001. Not 2001, what I'm saying, 1991. Government said, you guys are fools. You make to 0% duty, you will get, industry will get wiped out. We said, no, we want best in so that we can go best out. And bureaucrats that time and finance minister was there, Mr. Manmohan Singh. He all helped us, Mr. Vittal, who was a bureaucrat. We all remember it. We did technology park, which was not existing. We said, government, please, you can't do software in a fixed place. You can do it from anywhere. Allow us to build technology park anywhere. So we changed the policy. We changed the policies of education by allowing private sector. And beyond anything else, we privatized, we were involved in privatizing telecom industry, by the way. Why? Because we wanted it as an industry. We did it for us. But mobiles that you saw and all that is happening, we have a role, we have played a role, NASCOM, before anybody else. We privatized the industry, told government, please change your policy. So I know the impact of policy at a national level, and technologists and all of us working together with them can make great difference. And that's why this public policy school, my passion is to see that this happens to IIT Bombay. We of course would like to make it best public policy school, wearing my IIT Bombay hat. But the point I'm making is we are making academia, uh, government and technologists come together in building policies of tomorrow. And that will change. And as I said, India has to play a role in that policy making. And that will only happen if we work together. Unfortunately, like any other thing, we always have silos. Industry works in industry, academia work in academia, government thinks that all of them are doing something which is, so there are silos. Unless we break those silos, we will not be a great country. Unfortunately, that journey still has to continue at much faster pace. And policy making is one area, but there are other areas where we have to remove those silos. But the point I'm making is here is an inflection point for India to make impact, not internally, of course we have to. We have to remove our social inequity, financial inequity, illiteracy, all those problems which all of us know. AI is a good example, but we should become a leader in this century to be a whatever you call that soft power or whatever word you call it, to make world show that how technology and policy making can impact society and world at a large level. And some of it is happening as you know, but much more has to happen. So let us all work together and make difference to the nation and impact globally.
Great. I mean, this was a really, I think, a fantastic session, and I think we had a bit of masterclass on public policy as well down the line. I think people were thinking more about IT and AI, but yeah, because you have been very dynamic in different ends.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I feel
yeah,
policy is a strong enabler
totally,
as much as
totally,
technology.
totally,
Technology
totally.
and policy have to work together. Otherwise, they'll be policy will do long policy. Today, in fact, we are at IIT Bombay Public, our school, IIT Public
Center
Policy.
for Public Policy. Yeah,
Yeah, program for policy makers to use AI and IT for policy
yeah,
making. They
yeah.
are starting a new program.
Yes, yes, yes.
Somebody who knows, please propagate it. We
No,
want
true. In fact, I have been also involved in teaching some of these programs for bureaucrats, including at other IITs, IIT Kanpur, and other places. And this is where slowly things are moving. Because policy in some domains, especially emerging technologies like AI or quantum, have been lagging behind a lot. And then already we are facing some of those challenges which policy is not able to, cater to. So that's the true. That's true. Thanks a lot, Ashank, for your time, and thank you everyone for
you are doing
joining.
a great job for this community. Please continue your effort. I know it's not easy. It's very easy for me to say, tell you, please do it. The effort required to make it happen, I know, organizing something else. But
But
the
I,
point,
I, I still feel it's a lot lesser than what you have done for the country, Ashank ji. All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Bye bye.